the mic.
Get on the mic.
Just get on the mic. Get on the mic, Mike.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to the newest episode of Get on the Mic. This is where it's just me, a microphone, some notes, talking about some of the stuff that's happened in the world of entertainment and anything else I want to talk about that's happened throughout the week. Now, granted, this is a Star Wars week, so the internet kind of succumbs to the force during a Star Wars week, so there's not a ton of news, but there is some things that come out, including a big story that happened this week that, of course, we've been talking about on this program. The first thing that we're going to talk about is Sylvester Stallone may have possibly announced who is going to be playing Ivan Drago's son in the next Creed movie. Also, we're going to talk about the possibility that Justice League 2 got canceled. And also, of course, we've been talking about it on this program since the beginning. We're going to be talking about the final deal that has finally happened between Disney and Fox. First things first, let's talk about this Instagram post from Sylvester Stallone, where it's a picture, kind of badly photoshopped picture of him fighting Brock Lesnar in a cage. It's weird. He's wearing boxing gloves, yet he's got he's got his feet taped up like he's kickboxing. I don't remember Rocky Balboa being a kickboxer. But it's him getting leg kicked by Brock Lesnar. I mean, how could you mistake that ugly tattoo on his back anywhere? The post says this. It says, "Big challenges come in all shapes and forms. By the way, this is just for entertainment. Drago's son will be played by a new unknown. Hashtag Brock Lesnar. Hashtag Rocky Balboa in 1976. Now, is he just talking about the picture as entertainment? I'm guessing that's really what it is. I can't imagine them wanting to put the role of Ivan Drago's son in the hands of someone who's, other than in wrestling, has never acted before. And even in wrestling, all he has to do is act like a big scary monster. That's about it. He doesn't really show any real range in his wrestling performances. I don't want to see Brock Lesnar play Ivan Drago's son. Now, granted, Ivan Drago got juiced up, being quote-unquote trained by the Russians, and Brock Lesnar knows a thing or two about being juiced up. As an MMA fan, let's just put it this way, I lost a lot of respect for Brock Lesnar. I'm a wrestling fan, and I lose respect for any fighter that cheats. And, especially ones that brag about being big, white, and strong, as he put it. What did he say? I'm white and jacked, deal with it, something along those lines. Then he got caught cheating. And the guy that he fought, that was like the second or third person he fought that was juicing. And I lost a lot of respect for Brock Lesnar. And even in wrestling, I don't want to see him succeed anymore. I'm tired of it. But I definitely don't want to see him in Creed 2. There's so many actors out there that could probably play the role that actually have acting chops instead of putting a roid monster in the role of Ivan Drago's son, even though technically it would fit. But I can't imagine Brock Lesnar could even pull off an accent, a Russian accent. I am happy to see that the character of Ivan Drago is coming back for the movie. I kind of want to see him fight Creed, because then there's a little bit of a revenge plot there. But even though they kind of set up a plot in Creed where he should have been fighting the champ, maybe that'll come up in a later film. I don't know. But maybe he's got to get this revenge thing out of the way first. But yeah, this post, I think he's just joking that they found someone and they were just teasing it might be Brock Lesnar. If it ends up being Brock Lesnar, that's just sad because Creed was so good. I mean, granted, they didn't get the same director back, and Stallone's not directing it. I don't have it in front of me who the new director is, but Michael B. Jordan was amazing. Tessa Thompson was amazing. Sylvester Stallone probably put on one of the best performances of his career, I'd say, since Copland, which is my favorite Sylvester Stallone movie. At least the serious acting wise. I think my favorite had to be Demolition Man, but that's just me. I like that goofy movie. I just don't want to see a movie that has the possibility to be an amazing sequel turned into a crap show because you put someone that doesn't really have any acting chops like Brock Lesnar. If he had acting chops, he could be his own. He could do his own promos in wrestling. He's there looking scary, and Paul Heyman does the promos for him. And then anytime you give Brock Lesnar a mic, he just sounds like a meathead. I can't imagine him having range. I would love to see him prove me wrong. I just don't want to see him prove me wrong in a Rocky movie. Because you got to follow up Creed with something amazing, because Creed was so good. You know, you can't follow it up with you know, the Beast incarnate. It just, for me, that just won't fly. The next story I want to talk about is Warner Brothers announced that they were restructuring the unofficially titled DCEU. I don't know if they ever really came out and said that was the official title. What makes this interesting is there's a lot of movies here, but then there's some stuff missing. Here's the movies that they announced that they are going to release. First up, Wonder Woman 2. No surprise there. Next, Aquaman. Of course, they've been filming that. Flashpoint. Well, being that The Flash was probably the best part of Justice League, that that movie's going to happen. You know, Ezra Miller was so good. And, of course, we talked about if they do Flashpoint, we need to see a Jeffrey Dean Morgan Batman. So I'm happy to see that that's still there. Then, oddly enough, a movie that's been up and down on the schedule, Justice League Dark, is back on the schedule. Now, granted, if you haven't seen the cartoon version of Justice League Dark, it's one of the better DC animated movies that they've done. DC Animated blew away Marvel Animated when it came to the straight-to-DVD release stuff. But they kind of fell off after a while. And now they're trying to do these connected Justice Leagues and Batmans and stuff like that, where they have the same voice actors, and some of them are okay. But the best one in this series, one of the better ones, is Justice League Dark. And, you know, the character of John Constantine, while I loved Matt Ryan's performance of him on the NBC show, but that was the problem. It was on NBC. And yes, I do work for NBC, so I better be careful what I say there. But that character is great, and I'm not talking about the Keanu Reeves version. I know that movie is a guilty pleasure for some people. I don't even remember much about it, so you know, I'm happy to see that is back on the schedule. Of course, Suicide Squad 2. Hopefully, they can improve. And they're talking about putting Black Adam into that, because that's one thing. If on this list, there's no Black Adam movie, and the rumor is that they're going to be putting him in the Suicide Squad 2, which that's a decent way to introduce him, make The Rock the villain. Shazam is on there, of course, with the casting of Zachary Levi as Shazam. That's no real surprise. I don't know if Black Adam will fit into that movie. I mean, they have announced that Mark Strong was playing a villain. Which I was a little upset because I kind of wanted them to bring him back for Sinestro. But, you know, there's a lot of actors that could probably play that part. He was the best part of the Green Lantern movie that we don't talk about. Next on the list is Batgirl. No real surprise there. Of course, I'm excited the Green Lantern Corps is there, being that they kind of teased the Green Lantern Corps in Justice League. Well, of course they're going to have that movie, and you're not going to get away with not having a Green Lantern in the Justice League. And then the last on the list is Batman. I'm sorry, the Batman, which it sounds like they're going to recast Ben Affleck. I think I like the idea of Jake Gyllenhaal being the new Batman. I don't know. I've heard he's being replaced. I've heard he's not being replaced. I heard they're going to find a cool way to replace him. I guess we'll find out. But here's the thing. No mention of a Cyborg movie. I'm not real surprised by that. While Cyborg was fine in the Justice League movie, he doesn't need his own movie. That character is always better in a group. Even when you go back to the old Super Friends show and stuff like that, or whichever one he was on, one of those old ones where Adam West was still voicing Batman. Cyborg was always better with a group. Teen Titans better with a group. If you see what I'm getting at there. I don't think that character could carry a movie. He's always better as part of a group or leading a group, like if he's, the mentor, to Young Justice or something like that, So I'm not surprised that if they decided to pull that movie. I'm not real surprised with that. But if you notice, one thing I didn't say is that there's no Justice League. I'm not real surprised by that. I think what they're probably going to try to do is try some of these solo movies and see what works. So if they do that, they can say, well, okay, this character works, we can bring them all together or whatever. Also missing, no Man of Steel 2, which has been off and on the rumor stage. There's also no mention of Gotham City Sirens, Harley Quinn in the Joker movie, any Harley movie, period, because they were talking about Margot Robbie doing a solo Harley movie. And then, again, no mention of Black Adam, Deathstroke, which I have a feeling he's going to be in the Batman movie, and Nightwing, another one I think is going to be in the Batman movie. I think the way they're going to write out Ben Affleck as Batman, I think he is going to be in the Batman movie, but he's going to pass the torch to Nightwing, and Nightwing will become Batman, which is unfortunate because I think they're going to kind of force that. But, that's kind of been the whole DC thing as we've been watching these movies. It feels like they're just trying to force it, and they don't know what they want to do, which is unfortunate because, there's some great characters here. Thankfully, the Wonder Woman movie is good. I kind of like Man of Steel. Yeah, there was a lot of dumb stuff in there, but there was also some decent stuff. Of course, Batman v Superman was a mess. Justice League had its moments, but still kind of a mess, and I just kind of hope they can figure out what they're doing. I don't want them to keep resetting and rebooting and, we're going to change this. Oh, wait, this didn't work, so we're not going to do this. Oh, this didn't make the money we wanted, so we got to do it. No. Just figure out what you're doing. Even Marvel, and I know they don't want to be compared to Marvel, but even Marvel, when they had a setback, like in Iron Man 2, and a lot of people thought The Incredible Hulk was bad. I haven't gone back and watched it. I used to like it. I probably still would. But, of course, I know they changed some things for the better. They didn't bring the leader back. They didn't bring back the Abomination. We got a new Bruce Banner. They kind of fit it the way they need to fit it. And, of course, the Hulk we got now is better. But even the ones that they got that didn't work, they just worked around it. If something didn't work, they kind of just finagled it a little bit. And DC needs to just find a path and stick to it. Not just do your own thing. I always say they needed to do what Marvel did. You know what? No. If you have to, don't have the big together movie. Just do solo movies. Fine. And then eventually if things are clicking and everyone's liking all the movies, then all of a sudden you can go, oh, by the way, bang, here's Justice League. And they're going to fight Darkseid. I don't know what they're doing. I kind of hope they figure it out. But who knows? Who knows if they're going to figure it out? And let's just hope, as fans, as comic book fans, we just get some good movies out of it. My advice to DC and Warner Brothers, take it slow. and just try to just figure it out. Just take it slow, see what works. You know, there's not much more you can do. You're going to dig yourself into a hole that you can't get out of, and then we'll have to wait another however many years it was between Batman and Robin and Batman Begins. You know, thankfully we had some good animated movies like the Kevin Conroy stuff that we could watch while we waited for Batman to come back. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Next, of course, we're going to be talking about the Disney Fox deal. Think about this, okay? Just think about this. Disney has Bart Simpson. Disney has X-Men. That includes Deadpool. Disney has the original Star Wars cuts. Think about that, okay? Does that make Disney too powerful? Probably. Are we going to get some cool stuff out of this? Definitely. So here's the deal. Disney purchased 21st Century Fox, including its movie and TV divisions, for $52.4 billion in stock. That's a lot of money. Basically, what they get is the movie and TV divisions. They don't get Fox News. They do not get Fox Sports. So those are non-entertainment Fox elements. So they're not in the deal, and they'll kind of become their own thing. So anything TV related, it sounds like they get. Some of the things mentioned was like the X-Files, Empire, things like that. There's jokes in some articles about how some weird things will be getting rides at Disney parks and everything. So yeah, they don't get the sports, and because we talked about this, the news, because you know they own ABC, and then the sports because they already own ESPN. You can't do that. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes. We've talked about this stuff. Also, Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, and there's no real surprise here because his eyes are spinning dollar signs right now. He announced his retirement. He was supposed to leave in 2019. Now he's staying till 2021. No surprise there. He's going to make bank. That's why. So there's no real surprise there. But some of the things that have come out of this, the first thing is, of course, people went and asked Hugh Jackman, are you going to come back and play Wolverine? And this is what he had to say. He said, it's interesting because for the whole 17 years, I kept thinking that that would be so great. Like, I would love to see particularly Iron Man and the Hulk and Wolverine together. And every time I saw an Avengers movie, I could just see Wolverine in the middle of all of them, like punching them all in the head. But it was like, oh, well, that's not going to happen. And it was interesting, just when I first saw the headline, it was just the possibility of it, and who knows what's going to happen, obviously. And I was like, hang on. But I think, unfortunately, the ship has sailed for me. But for someone else, I would like to see Wolverine in there. So, yeah, Hugh Jackman's not coming back. And you know what? I have to respect that decision. And we talked about this last week, where if he hadn't have done Logan, I think he would do it. But the fact that Logan's so good, probably one of the best superhero movies this year, if not the best superhero movie this year, I'm still mulling over that. So, yeah, he's not coming back. I'm not disappointed. I respect that decision, and I think he's right. I think it's time for a change, and that brings my thoughts to the X-Men themselves. It makes me wonder what is going to get canceled. That Young Mutants movie that's coming out that looks like a horror film, I believe it's New Mutants. That one's probably going to get released because you've got a young cast and you could keep those people on. if you wanted to use them in the future. But I have this feeling that I don't know how much work they've done on the Phoenix movie. I have a feeling that they're going to start over with a lot of people. If they don't, I won't be surprised, but honestly, in a way, I think they should. Maybe keep some of the younger cast because they're younger, but I would like to see them maybe. It's a hard thing for me to say because I liked McAvoy as Professor X. I like Fassbender as Magneto. As we talked about, Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique needs to go, even though she's coming back. But because they tried to make the whole thing about her because she's J-Law, right? So part of me wants to see him start over, but at least you're definitely going to know you have to start with a new Wolverine. Are they going to pick a new unknown? Are they going to pick someone everyone knows? I don't know. There's a lot of cool actors out there that could have been Wolverine. I would have said Tom Hardy would have been my first choice, but of course he's Venom. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen some of the stuff they've been releasing of that, they're showing him training and stuff to fight and everything. Should be pretty cool. Also, I guess they're talking Woody Harrelson might be involved in that movie, which, hey, cool. I'd like to see Woody Harrelson play a villain or something like that. But, I'm not sure who you'd pick as Wolverine. Do you know that the original thought for Wolverine, they were talking a lot of different actors. There was the musician, and then some not actors. They were talking to musician Glenn Danzig because of the way he looked. Russell Crowe's name was thrown out there. Jack Nicholson's name was thrown out there. I mean, there were some choices, man. If you're going to go with someone established, I think someone like a Jake Gyllenhaal might be able to pull it off. Granted, I think I'd rather see him in another role. I'd have to think about that, who I'd want him to be. But, like I said, I think I'd rather him be Batman. And you're definitely not going to be able to play both. With this deal, I will say I do look forward to the interactions with Deadpool, and we'll talk about them in a minute. But yeah, I don't know who I'd want to see as Wolverine. I don't know, what I'd want to see them start over, because you don't want to. The problem with bringing in this cast that they got now, granted, there's some that isn't going to change. You're not going to get someone else to play Deadpool, right? Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, and ain't no one going to do it better. But think about it. If you're wanting to bring them into this MCU, which who knows how big they're going to make it now, because they didn't have plans to do, a lot of stuff together after Thanos. I think they were going to make smaller stories, but now if you've got the X-Men and everybody else and the Fantastic Four and everybody else, you're going to have to do one big movie against Galactus. You're going to have to. That's going to happen. They're going to bring everyone they can and make the biggest movie of all time. It's going to have the biggest cast. You think Infinity War is going to, and the Infinity movies are going to have huge casts. No. Now that we have Fantastic Four and now that we have the X-Men, you're going to have all that stuff in a movie together at least once. It's going to be a 3.5 hour, heck, I'll say 4 hour. I'm kidding in a way, though I can't say I wouldn't want to see it. Like a 4 hour epic, where everyone has to get together to take on Galactus. Even heroes that are probably going to die, they're going to bring them back because these are comic books, right? They're based on comic books. So, of course, they can bring some characters back. We all know that probably, like Tony Stark's going to die. So, well, you can bring back Tony Stark for one more run. Come on, they did a whole AI thing in the comic books. Why not do a whole AI thing with the suit with Tony Stark in the movies? So, who knows where they're going with this, but do you start over or do you bring in these other characters? And are you going to say they're from another universe? That way the stories that they went through don't matter. But then again, you'd wonder what happened to there is so much garbage they're going to have to sort through to make this work. I think the smart move would be to start over. You know, you keep Ryan Reynolds. He is and anyone involved in his, you know, in his stories, because you've got Cable, which who knows if he's going to be a one-off. Who knows what they're planning on doing. I think a smart move would, for the most part, be to start over. One thing people were worried about is Deadpool. Now that he's going to be Disney-fied, right? Let's put it this way though, if you don't follow Ryan Reynolds on Twitter, do so if you want the fun Deadpool stuff, because you know, I can't officially say this, but I know a secret. Ryan Reynolds really is Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds is his alter ego. He really is Deadpool, because the man is going to live that part until they finally decide to cancel that series. Because that man is constantly, even when they're not even promoting a movie, he's doing stuff. But he released a picture of him being escorted out of Disney theme parks in handcuffs. So, you know, he just does funny stuff like that as Deadpool. And that's why you got to keep him in the role. But the big concern was, are you going to keep Deadpool R? And they basically come out and said, Bob Iger come out and said in a conference call with investors, he said, Deadpool clearly has been and will be Marvel branded, but we think there might be an opportunity for a Marvel R brand for something like Deadpool. As long as we let audiences know what's coming, we think we can manage that fine. So there you have it. Disney's going to be smart about this. I think there will be some jokes in a future Deadpool movie, and I wouldn't doubt if they do reshoots for this one coming up, maybe for an after credit scene where Deadpool starts to talk and he gets bleeped out, and then of course he looks at the camera and says, "What the F?" You know, and then you see, you know, a Mickey Mouse sign or so. You know, they're gonna make a joke about it. I've been trying to predict some of the jokes in the new Deadpool movie, like the new haircut on Negasonic Teenage Warhead. There's gonna be a joke about Gozer from. That's why she's flipping him off. He's gonna say, "Hey Gozer, how you doing?" or something, or "Are you the Keymaster?" or something like that, because her hair's spiked up and it looks like Gozer from Ghostbusters. But I think there's going to be a joke in the movie, probably going to be after credits, where they make a joke about him being Disney-fied now. And if it's not in this movie, it'll be the first of the next one. He's going to come out and start cussing. He's going to get bleeped. There's going to be a big whole joke thing about it, and he's going to say, "No, this is my movie," and they'll work it out. They're going to make good humor out of this. And it's fantastic, because if Disney wanted to piss off tons of fans, they would PG-13-ify, if that's even a word, Deadpool. But no. They're going to let Deadpool be Deadpool. And I wouldn't doubt if we get some more R-rated ones, like if they do another Wolverine movie, because they saw how good Logan was. Granted, Wolverine will be involved in both, I think. I don't think Deadpool's going to show up in X-Men movies. There may be a throwaway Deadpool joke in a future Avengers movie or something. Or he may do some team-ups. Who knows? But Deadpool movies hopefully will stay their own universe. And, of course, it sounds like they're going to get to stay R. And that is a very good thing. And, you know, as powerful as this makes Disney in the entertainment world, it's, you know, they're just padding their own stuff. They're padding their own properties by buying this. That's the reason they bought it. I don't think they would have bought it if Fox didn't have Star Wars and X-Men and stuff. I don't think that deal would have happened. They're wanting to make, and yes, the first and foremost, they're wanting to make money. So, of course they are. They're a business. But they're wanting to pad what they have, And I think they're trying to give the fans what they want. That's why they made a deal with Sony. Think about that. Disney don't want to share money with Sony, and Sony don't want to share money with Disney. But they made a deal for Spider-Man because Sony knew that Disney and Marvel could pull it off. And of course they did, because Spider-Man Homecoming was great. But then they made this deal with Fox. I honestly thought they were going to make a trade deal with Fox. The fact that they sold to Disney is what amazes me. But now Disney has full control of those properties. And as scary as that is, the fact that we're finally going to get to see what we've always wanted to see as Marvel fans. Think about it. Warner Brothers owns DC. They've always had control of that. All the different properties. And nobody's really complained, right? Because it's just always kind of been the way it's been. I mean, just forever. But Disney's kind of had to take the long route. And since Marvel had troubles back in the day where they had to sell off properties and, people make crappy movies of, Captain America and made-for-TV movies of Nick Fury and so forth and so on, they've just kind of had to slowly gather stuff back. And they are about as close as they are going to get. Because Sony will never give up Spider-Man. But as long as they keep making deals with Disney to make Spider-Man movies, I think we'll be okay. Because I'm okay if Venom doesn't show up in a Marvel movie. Granted, who knows how their little Venom universe or Spidey universe without Spidey is going to work. I don't know. I'm not sure how all that's going to work. But, we got Spidey. That's the important part. And now we've got the Fantastic Four. And now we've got, and here's the big one for me, Doctor Doom. We get to have Doctor Doom in a Marvel movie. Think about that. That's great. Iron Man versus Doctor Doom, right? I'm loving that idea. I'm loving the Avengers going up against Doctor Doom. Because he wasn't always just a Fantastic Four villain for me. I don't want to see Doctor Doom in another Fantastic Four movie ever again. I want to see Doctor Doom face off against Black Panther. You know what I mean? I want to see cool stuff like that. And now we get to see it. And as scary as that is, Disney is just trying to give the fans what they want and, of course, make bank doing it. And, of course, we got to mention this. The uncut Star Wars. I don't know if my theory of they'll come before Christmas is going to happen. I'm still throwing that out there. I haven't looked at the news sites today, but we've still got a week-ish before Christmas. You never know. Probably not going to happen, but you never know. That being said, we'll definitely have them by next Christmas, or by the time the Han Solo movie comes out, which I believe is May, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, hopefully we'll have those to look forward to also. Disney is trying to give the fans what they want. Yes, of course, money first. I get it. That's why Iger isn't retiring. Because Iger wants to... When he finally retires, that man will probably be one of the richest people in the entire universe. But yeah, there's so much that Disney is going to be able to do now. And yes, they're going to make money doing it, but they're also going to give us exactly what we want. And now we're going to find out just how good they really are. Because this could fail miserably. They could have too much on their plate. We don't know. That being said, they're letting studios do their own thing. They're letting Marvel Studios take care of things. They don't plaster their name all over Star Wars. They don't plaster their name all over the Marvel movies. They put their name at the end, at the credits, but you don't see the Disney logo in front of that stuff. They're letting these studios do their own things. They're trying new things, and so far, for the most part, it's been pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to come up with next. That's all I got for this week. Again, if you want to see my reviews of Star Wars The Last Jedi, make sure to check out the channel. I've also seen Ferdinand. I'm working on the review for that. It's not up yet. And also, I've seen Jumanji, which that'll be coming sometime next week. They had an Amazon Prime screening of it a couple weeks ago, and I went to that. and also I've seen The Shape of Water, and I like that movie, but I can't resist. I have a joke I have to tell at the first of the review, and I can't resist telling it because I have to do it, because anytime you see the trailer for this movie, it's all I could think of. Even though I will say I have to just say it because I'll get it out of the way, because the movie, as freakishly weird as that movie is, I really liked it. So I'll have my review up for that hopefully over the weekend. But anyway, that's all I've got for Get on the Mic this week. I hope you guys have enjoyed the program. Let me know what you think of the program in the comments below. And as always, thank you for listening, and I appreciate everyone that takes the time to listen to this program and give your feedback. And I will hopefully have some good stuff for you next week. Like I said, it's been a hard news week this week because it's Star Wars week. But thankfully, thanks to Disney and Fox, they gave me a lot to talk about. Until next time, I'm Gino Reynolds from The Real Gino. Peace.